Mhm. What do you sense is the state of my soul right now? And what advice do you have for it?
What was your first impression of me and how has it changed over time?
My first impression of you, to sum it up in one word, was colorful. Yeah, like even I think your hair was a different color at that point. You had
Probably.
like braids that kind of had my mind is terrible, like my memory, but I think they were like pink or orange or something. There was like
Something like that.
Yeah, there was a vibrancy.
I had pink and orange on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like a t-shirt underneath and like, no? What did you have on?
I had this jumpsuit on that was very flowy and colorful.
Yeah, I remember the flowiness and the colors.
And it was like ombres of pink and orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when we sat down, I was like, I didn't want to waste your time because I hate wasting people's time.
Wow.
And I think the context is helpful, like that I was meeting with you because of those three people who told us that we should connect. And we finally were able to like find some time on our calendars. And meeting you was just like immediately, like because of that, I felt like disarmed, and I just felt like, okay, like potentially I have found another person who I can count as my people.
Yeah.
And then when we first started to speak in that big conference or like the kind of beautiful room in your office, one of the many, I was like, oh, she's about her shit. She's about business, like, period. You want a cappuccino? You want an avocado toast? I was like, yes, feed me and let's communicate and like,
Didn't
connect.
even know I was like speaking your love languages.
That is all of these are my love. Coffee, avocado toast, like sun, like floor to ceiling windows, like thank you. So like that was colorful, all of that, like nourishing, but also very action oriented. I think those were like my first impressions. And then the warmth, because Taurus is like, we are warm, but not everybody needs to know that initially, right?
No.
So the warmth was just like exuding from you once we started to really get into the flow of conversation. And then we moved upstairs and had, continued the conversation. So yeah, it was lovely, my first encounter with you. Yeah. I'm going to do the Gen Z one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my students. What do you feel is the special thing in me that enables the beautiful thing in you?
I got that, and I'm thinking about it. That's a good question. I'm going to say like your awareness of fear, but it doesn't stop you. Like, because I think the cultural mantra is to say like, you're fearless, but that's not the case, right? It's like, you might be aware of it and you're going to go do the shit anyway, And I love that. It's scared. Yeah. And I don't know what the fuck is going on with me right now, but like lately, the past few months, I've been like more scared than usual, and like, I hate that. And it's like, I get anxiety and I get like, it's a bit paralyzing, but I've been learning how to navigate out of that. But you just do it. And I'm like, oh, she's brave, in ways that I don't know that I am right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. What's the pain in me you wish you could heal and why?
Well, I would say that, right? Like, feeling like you're too much for friendships or relationships. I hate that. because you are a beautiful flower that like it only buds and like, you know, like certain temperature, you know, it's like you require care to blossom, and that's okay, right? Like it's okay that the cultivation of you requires like, you know, like attention.
Yeah.
And you're not a background character, even though sometimes you'd be like, I'm just gonna sit in the background and like everyone else, you know, like you're not. Like you should be centered, right? More. And yeah, that's what I would heal.
Love that. Thank you.
Of course.
For you, I would say what sometimes feels like the burden of being a single parent. My God, you know, like you are fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Like the shit I see you do, and not even just like because you're a mom, but just like you and all the things that you do. And one thing that if I had like a magic wand and I could wave, like you would have like all the capital, all the resources, all the connections, all the ease that you need.
It's coming.
Hello. It is.
Come on. Rain down on me.
But seriously, you know, well, that was serious too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like just the any moments of doubt that you might have, you know, and when it gets hard, and it feels like that was necessary for a time to experience like that type of pain, but it's like, okay, we're over this.
Yeah.
You know, at least like that's how I feel. Like I'm like, all right, cool. Like where's the sponsorship? Where's the money? Like where's all the things that are necessary for you to flourish and thrive in the way that you're meant to, right? Like I get this is a period of time. I get all of that, but I'm also like, all right, like, can we
speed things up?
Can we speed things up? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel that very deeply. And thank you for saying that. Like the first time I really also, one of the first times I felt seen by you was when you were just like, what do you need? And I was like, kind of explaining like what I was doing. And you were just like, and I was expressing how frustrated I was at that time. And you were just like, well, it makes sense because your basic needs aren't met.
Yeah.
And I was like,
listen, everybody's out here trying to self-actualize.
Right.
And the basic needs.
Yes. Was it hierarchy?
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that is so frustrating to me, right? Especially with the work that we do, the amount of care that we need to take care of ourselves to do this work is more than most.
Right.
And a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's so much shit going on. And it's like, we're trying to like get this little couple of dollars here, bring this person in to do, it's so much. And it's like, can our basic needs just be met real quick right now?
Right.
You know, so that we don't have to worry about that, so that we can like jump off the pyramid of self-actualization and like do the work that's required to really help people, you know, in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really moving along. When have you seen me the most vulnerable? And what did it teach you about our friendship?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. It's not even, you know, ironically, it's not even necessarily like the most recent moment of vulnerability.
I thought you were gonna.
I know, right? Like,
I thought you were gonna bring that one up. Okay.
No, I wasn't. Like, I thought about it because I thought you think that's what I'd say, but I think it was pretty early on, like in our friendship. Like, I think it was still like the summer or the fall, you know, and like you had recently left your job, right? You had resigned. and just some of the challenges that came with that transition. And you share with me something that was going on in your house. And like, I was able to like share with you something that was going on in mine. And I was just like, we're really friends right now, right? It was
you
that.
really came through with that too. I was just like, I need to vent about this very particular issue that's driving me crazy.
And I was like, wow, okay, we got there. Yes, this is what's going on this side.
I think
right?
I might have cried. I think I might have left you a crying voice note. Like, there's another one. Yeah.
But it didn't feel like too much to me. Because sometimes people do that. And I'm like, that's too much.
Boundaries, right?
Yeah, like, just... What did you say the other day? Bulldozing my boundaries? Like, I did not feel that way, right? Love that line, by the way. But no, I didn't feel that way, you know? And so I think it was then that I was like, got it. Okay. Yeah.
I would say the moment that you started to express more about your personal life and your heart space with friendship. And I really relate to that. I think I've gone through so much friendship trauma as well. And I just kind of like, I learned from it. I'm a very like analytical person. So I'm like, what do I take from this? And I'm never afraid to encounter pain. Like I'm never afraid to just like, all right, I know that this is going to be fucking painful, but I know what's on the other side. I know that pain is only temporary. And so I thought, you know, it was very interesting that you also kind of have navigated pain from friendships ending or friendships kind of like turning out not the way you expected. And I think that was one of our first conversations too. Yeah. So I appreciated that moment of vulnerability. Is that the question? Yeah. Teach you about our friendship. It taught me how you, how emotionally intelligent you are. And
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. You're very emotionally intelligent. You're also very stubborn. You're more stubborn than me, babe.
Are you serious?
You are. But I think that's cool. I think for me, it's just like, you know, Are you sure? I'm very much, It's okay. Like it shows up in some ways. You're just, even if I like, when we're having a conversation, the way we kind of like go back and forth, I will maybe sometimes jump to a conclusion and you'll be like, no, that's not it. And then sometimes it'll be like, well, that was it after you continue talking. And I'm just like, okay, girl.
That's so funny. I appreciate that though. Thank you.
You're not the only Taurus in my life that does that. So I feel like all of these mirrors, I'm like, okay, y'all. I know I only got one. Yes, it is, and then another. No, it's not. With a Taurus before it's just like I'm done. I'm out. Like let you. Okay.
What do you feel life may be teaching me right now, and what advice do you have for that?
I think life is teaching you that you have outgrown your current era. And you're being launched into a new era. And I think it's teaching you to surrender to that, to really tap into this like artist that you are, to this like dynamic creative that you are, and also this like really astute business person that you are. So I think that's sort of like what is like, you're getting glimmers of that. I think you're hesitant to like maybe like step fully into that because what is on the other side, right? It's terrifying. And I think that because I've done that so many times, maybe I can be of support for you as you are navigating the uncertainty, because my life is low-key always uncertain. So I'm sort of comfortable like navigating like this, like, okay, what's next, you know? So I think that that's something that, yeah, your life is teaching you. Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you sense is the state of my soul right now? And what advice do you have for it?
I think the state of your soul is in transition, but also growing, like kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk growing, though, you know, like a very, very, in a very big and major way. And my advice is to continue to reach out to your people and your community to help you stand up. Yeah, like that simple. I don't think your soul really needs that much advice, to be honest, but
I know my soul's mad wise. Sometimes I'm like, I need to listen more to it.
Yeah. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Ashe.
I know.
We did it.
We did do it.
Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
If you love the And Conversations or the And products, visit theskindeep.com/shop so you can purchase our products and experiences. Subscribe to any of our social media channels, and we really want to stay in touch and connect, improving the world one conversation at a time.